Many ambitious men claim to trust God, but truly they've become their own God. Their entire future, their entire success depends all on their shoulders, and it's something that they are constantly trying to take control of. But in this video, we're going to reveal why you weren't meant to carry this purpose that you've been given by God alone. You weren't meant to carry the weight of your success, of your pursuit entirely alone. And so today we're going to talk about why you should make God your business partner and why not doing it will be extremely detrimental to you even if you do become successful. So this is for the men that feel burnt out, that feel constantly stressed out, and live a life of pure panic. Even though they're disciplined, even though they have the drive, the vision, the ambition, they still find themselves losing their minds on a weekly basis, overthinking every little thing about their life. So today, as somebody that's been through that many times and has fallen into the same trap that I'm going to make you aware of today, I'm going to break down every point that you must avoid and what you should do instead to start making God your true business partner. I'm going to start off strong by saying ambitious men live under silent pressure. Part of being ambitious, part of being disciplined, is staying calm in situations that most people panic. You are the stronghold. You are that leader that is able to look for solutions when everybody is thinking about the problem. However, this can create kind of a reputation and a pressure that you put upon yourself to appear a certain way. And ultimately, that is rooted in validation still. You might have grown a lot, you might have a clear vision, and you might be more disciplined than most men, but you still put the same pressure on yourself that they do for the validation, in fear of what other people think. So to shift your entire mindset on this topic in one quote, is that a man that doesn't truly trust God becomes emotionally controlled by results, by outcomes. So it's important for a man to understand that he is not in control of everything. He is not in full control of his entire destiny. There is a lot of factors that you must be willing to sacrifice and leave at the feet of God in order to maintain a clear reason why you're doing it. See, a lot of you only started self-improvement out of self-hatred. You only started a business with the motivation of fear. You are operating from fear. Fear of being insignificant. Fear of not amounting to your potential. Fear of not being seen as a valuable person. For a lot of you, this is the first time you're ever even considering the thought that that's why you started in the first place. None of your pursuits, none of the ideas around your purpose, and none of the business endeavors that you pursue ultimately should be based out of fear, based out of thinking that you are not good enough and you are only as good as you do. Because like I said before, when a man doesn't truly partner with God, when a man doesn't truly fear God, when a man doesn't truly trust God, his entire emotional state and self-image is dependent on his results. It's dependent on how much he can provide through his actions. And as we read in the Bible, whether you're familiar or not, God constantly teaches us that works alone is not enough to have true faith. God is not looking at your performance. God is looking inside of your heart at your intentions. So the intentions behind your business is ultimately connected to your faith, because this is God's plan. The business you're thinking about starting or have already started is God's plan. So let me ask you this. Who has a better idea of how to conduct the plan than the creator of the plan himself? And that is not you. It is God. God gave you this dream. God gave you this purpose. God gave you this ambition. God gave you these thoughts that sparked into what you're currently doing at this moment. So, are you going to trust yourself the one that is only following the plan and executing the plan? Or are you going to trust the one who created the plan, that being God? From a logical standpoint, and a lot of people that are into business and pursuing their ultimate purpose are very analytical thinkers. They think with a lot of logic. It's completely illogical for you to think that you are the sole proprietor of the plan. You are the sole driver of the plan, because at the end of the day, that's just completely untrue. God holds more weight in this situation, in your success, in your destiny, than you will ever hold. And you have to be humble enough to lay down those things that are out of your control, because it's going to keep you mentally sane. It is going to keep you doing it for the right reason. And that is the whole purpose of the plan. Which leads into our next point. You can't ask God to rescue your business when it's built upon your own ego. When the whole reason for why you operate on a high level is rooted in ego. It's rooted in your own self-serving desires, so that people see you a certain way, so people see you at a certain status, so people truly believe that you are who you say you are, only for you to believe it too. So what do I mean by that? Somebody that's not truly confident, but on the adverse operates through ego, is constantly seeking validation. They're constantly saying, oh, I'm so great at this. I'm so great at that. I'm this type of man. I'm such a great man. But only if the person in front of them reassures them of that fact do they truly believe it in their heart. And on the flip side, somebody that operates from true confidence will understand that his actions speak for themselves, and how he feels and views about himself does not depend on the approval of human beings, only the approval of God. Only the approval of the one that truly knows who you are without the mask that you put up every single day. All of the things that you hide from people when you're in private, the true, most pure, genuine parts of your soul, God is the only one that truly knows that. And you could say, oh, I'm super authentic. I don't hide anything from anyone. We all do it. You're a human being, and there is a certain type of mask that you present to the world that is truly different from the whole complete version of yourself that is truly authentic. That is just a pure fact. And so if you build not only your self-image, your identity, but your pursuits off of ego, then you cannot turn to God and say, oh God, now that I'm in trouble, I need your help now. You should be asking God for his guidance before you even take the action, before you even start the business. So what are some ways that you can execute this on a daily basis? When you wake up in the morning, get on your knees, pray to God, and ask him what he wants you to do that day. What does success look like for me today, God? How do I win today, God? What actions do you want me to take today, God? What do you want me to know today, God? I just named 5 prayers that you can say every single morning that sets the tone of surrender. It sets the tone that you are willing to put your ego aside, humble yourself, and realize who truly holds all the power. There's also many that claim to trust God, but operate from total control. I am guilty of this. There has been so many times in my life where I said, oh yeah, I trust God. Oh yeah, I'm faithful to God. And it's something that I still struggle with to this day at certain times. I say I trust God. I say I put it all on God, and all the things I can't control, all the anxieties, I cast them onto the Lord as he tells us in the Bible. But then I will have a freak out session about I'm not where I want to be. What does my future look like? And that is me trying to take control over my own life. And honestly, you need to realize more than anything that this isn't even your life. This is God's gift to you. God did not have to give you life. God did not have to give you opportunity. And God, most importantly, didn't have to give you the self-belief to even pursue your dream in the first place. So you have to treat that as a gift. You have to have a level of gratitude that is as low as, I woke up today and that's good enough for me. God gave me another opportunity to grow, another opportunity to achieve my dream, and another opportunity for me to do everything I can with my life to honor God. And by no means is this video meant to be some religious high ground or moral high ground where I'm like, oh, you guys don't trust God enough, I'm a better Christian than you. There's a lot of you watching this video that are probably better Christians than me. And like I said, I have fallen into the cycle many times of trying to take control away from God, trying to act like I am the only one that controls my fate. But I have to constantly remind myself that, hey, this isn't about you. This is about serving other people. This is about serving your Creator. And the creator of the plan is the driver of the plan. And again, the overall mindset of not truly trusting God, not truly putting your full faith in Him, is going to make you entirely dependent on your results. You're only as good as your results. You're only as good as your achievement. And that's going to condition your mind into the worst trap of all, which is moving the goalpost forward every single time. So what does this mean? It means that you set out a specific goal and you pray to God and you say, God, if I just achieve this one thing, then I would be satisfied. But because you don't truly trust Him and you don't truly believe that to the core of your heart, every time you do achieve that thing, you are always going to want more. You are conditioning your own mind for greed. You are conditioning your own mind to always be starving and thinking that what you have is not enough. And that's why I told you guys earlier, your gratitude has to be on a very baseline level. The fact that you woke up today was not promised. The fact that you have a roof over your head right now was not promised. The fact that you have a phone, laptop, tablet to be watching this video right now is a sense of freedom that you didn't deserve, but God gave it to you anyways. And God connected you to this video because He wants you to grow and remember Him. And so that in itself is a privilege, and you must treat it as such. And if you don't, then nothing will ever be good enough. No level of money, no level of achievement, no level of security is going to give you that fulfillment that you are chasing. Because you might say, oh, I want to be extremely wealthy. I want to run a successful business. But there is a deeper emotional reason why you're doing that in the first place. You want freedom over your time. You want to feel important. You want to be able to be that provider for your future family or the family that you have now. There is a deeper reason to everything that you do. And you need to question not only what you want to do, but why you're doing it in the first place. God put this purpose on my heart to teach people how to get out of the same situations that I once went through. And He put an empathy in my heart to not want anybody to feel the pain that I once felt for years and years. If you watch some of my other videos, you'll see that I explain a 7-year stretch of my life where I hated my life, I wanted to end my life, and it's all I could think about. I had the worst attitude that you can ever imagine. I was a complete victim of life, and I was stuck in severe depression, severe addiction for 7+ years of my life, every single day, every single moment. But God saved me from myself. He pulled me out of my own misery and put this purpose on my heart to say, all of those things that you went through are now going to give you the wisdom, the strength, and the skills to communicate that to people that are stuck in the situation that you were once in. And so now I'm giving you an opportunity to honor me and praise me through your work by making these videos, by having a coaching business, by teaching the same lessons that I am teaching to you that I taught to my client 2 days ago. So really, this isn't about money. It's not about success. It's about a form of ministry within itself, pouring into others and serving others, which is ultimately what God teaches us to do. So not only are you now dependent on results, you're also never going to be fulfilled by any of your achievements, anything that you ever accomplish in your life, but now you will get stuck in external success, but in internal instability. So you could be succeeding on the exterior. You could have the money. You can have the car. You can have the business. You could have the clients. You could have everything that you think in this current moment will make you happy, will make you fulfilled. But internally, still be unstable, constantly stressed out, and living in a state of constant panic. And is that an ideal life? Is that the life that we're truly chasing? Because emotional security should be one of your main goals for your business. If you do not have emotional stability, if you do not have stress regulation, if you do not have the ability to have control over your mind and not let it control you, then you won't even last a year pursuing your business. And when you get these things and you start reaping the benefits of the hard work that you are putting in, it's still not going to make you feel anything. You are going to be a walking corpse. There is no real substance behind that pursuit. There is no real self-love or grounding in faith behind any of it. So at the end of the day, yeah, you're rich, you're wealthy, you have money, you have resources now, but you're still that same hollow, insecure little boy that started making the business. And all in all, achievement is only going to offer you temporary relief. Think about it. You're driven, you're disciplined, you are knocking out goals. And when you knock out those goals, you might feel a rush in that moment. You might feel like, oh wow, this is amazing. I worked really hard for this. This is what I prayed for. But think about how truly long that lasts for you. I could speak for myself. When I got my first coaching client, when I got my first viral video, I was on top of the world for maybe a few hours, but then because I wanted to control everything and I was always seeking more and my mind was conditioned for greed, it quickly turned into thoughts about what the next step was, how to capitalize, and how to get more. And so if you get stuck in that cycle, even if you have $1 billion, you will still feel like you're never doing enough. You're still going to feel like you are never enough, and you are always going to feel insignificant. Plain and simple like that. So now that you're aware of how not to go about it in the mindset that is built to destroy you, how can you start tackling this? How can you start shifting your mind to go about your pursuits in the right way this time? So one of those things is going to be you start offering and operating from stewardship. I want you to think of Jesus himself. Jesus is the most powerful leader that we have ever seen. Jesus is the most powerful being that we have ever seen. Nobody, no being has ever impacted people on the level that Jesus did. And if you read in books like the Gospels, in the accounts of Jesus doing miracles, he is always serving others. He is never pursuing action through self-serving motives. He is always thinking about others before himself in his pursuit of impact. And that is exactly what becoming like Jesus truly means. To better our faith is to become more like him. So, in our work pursuits, in the business aspect, you should understand that Jesus became such a good leader and gained so much impact from service, from stewardship, from truly caring about who he was delivering the miracle to, from truly caring about each and every one of us that he eventually saved by sacrificing himself. So let me ask you this question. Is your pursuit of business, is your pursuit of wealth, entirely motivated by you being rich, what you can get out of it, you having a big house, you having a McLaren. Because if that's the case, then that is the textbook example of not serving God and serving yourself. That is not making God your business partner. And I'm willing to guarantee, if you started because of that, everything you think is about control. Every time you go to pursue something new, you're trying to control every little aspect of it. And I also guarantee that it drives you literally insane to live like that. Even though you do good and you put yourself in good positions and you make certain sacrifices that other people aren't willing to make, you still don't feel that peace internally. You still are clouded in your mind. You still don't have emotional regulation. And it's because you're always thinking about yourself. When you are in a tough position, when you are struggling mentally, your first thought should not be, what can I do for myself? But also, what can I do for others? Because I can tell you from a personal account, when I stopped focusing on myself all the time, and I stopped thinking about how to make myself feel better all the time, and I started going out of my way to serve others out of pure intention, my life also improved as a byproduct of that. Because if you think life is all about you, then you aren't going to be satisfied. You're going to have a horrible attitude, and you will have one of the worst mindsets that the world has ever seen. And we all understand that in order to achieve extraordinary things, we need to have an extraordinary mindset. We have to have a level of self-control that most people will never even get a taste of. We have to have a discipline and a reason why we do what we do that is deeper than anybody is ever willing to think about. See, the same place that you have to go in order to achieve the success that you are trying to achieve is what most people spend their entire lives avoiding. So I'll present this to you. The emotions that you're avoiding, the work that you're avoiding, the people that you're avoiding, those situations hold all of the keys, all of the answers that will give you the skills, the tools, and the understanding to achieve that overall dream. Everything you want is in what you avoid. So you must understand that, and you must understand that you cannot do this alone. That lone wolf, monk mode mentality is the biggest lie that you have ever been sold. So if you think that you have to cut off every single person in your life, you shouldn't be receptive to anybody's advice, and you should most importantly not be receptive to God's guidance of His own plan, you need to destroy that in this moment right now. And this might be the first moment that you're ever considering it. Maybe this is a huge wake-up call for a lot of you. So stop thinking about how you can serve yourself and start thinking about how you can serve others. Because true impact is rooted in sacrifice of self and sacrifice over your own desires. What can I do to connect with people on an emotional level, whatever business you're in, and truly impact them to the core of their soul? How can I impact people on a level that they don't even feel comfortable talking about with most people without them even revealing what those things are? It comes with understanding people. And in order to gain understanding of people, you must truly care about people. You must truly care about other people's well-being and improving their lives. Your product, your service, whatever you're building, must be rooted in truly impacting other people, because those other people is where the money comes from. Those other people are the ones that will be the consumers of your product, of your service. And so with the knowledge and awareness that all of the things that we are chasing are rooted in human beings, We must take the action and have the care to learn everything we can about human beings. And to become that leader that we want to be, to make that impact that we want to make, we must learn from the greatest leader to ever exist and the most impactful being that has ever existed. And that means caring enough to learn more about God. And the closer you get to him, the more you know about him, the more you know him in your own individual relationship with him, the more you will understand how to conduct your own life. Another actionable plan to flip the script on this entire way of thinking that you have curated is to stop making success your identity. You are not only as good as what you do. You are not only as good as the results that you get. Are you a good person? Are you kind? Are you truly compassionate? You might present a product or a service that is meant to help people, meant to make an impact on them, and on the surface, nobody can see beyond that. But guess who sees right through that if you don't have the right intentions? God. And who judges us at the end of this worldly lifetime that we have? God. The goal, overall, is not what you gain while you are here on earth. We must store treasures up in heaven. God says, better a poor man with good intentions than a rich man with ill intentions. It is better for you to maintain who you truly are, who God made you to be, and not make as much money than to sacrifice your soul and sacrifice who God created you to be in order to gain things for yourself. Success is not your identity. Being a good sibling is your identity. Being a good son or daughter is your identity. Being a servant of God is your identity. Your image of yourself is not the one you should be following. The image that God sees you in is who you should see yourself as. There's a verse in the Bible that says God refines us like silver. And you might read that on the surface and think nothing of it. Well, how do we know when silver is refined? You know silver is pure and refined when you can see your reflection in it. So God refining us like silver tells us that he knows that we are reaching true faith and true trust in him when he sees more of his reflection in us. Live by that for the rest of your life. So staying on the idea of success, another actionable plan that you can take through that morning prayer that I explained earlier, through other forms of surrendering to God, is asking God what success looks like for you. See, a lot of you are in the age of comparison. A lot of you only started a business because you saw somebody on the internet the same age as you and thought to yourself, I'm not good enough. I need to make as much money as this guy makes in order to feel good about myself. And so if you are operating through comparison and keeping up with the people around you, then you are losing your true metric of success. Because what success is to me is not the same as what success is to you. And so after you watch this video, I want you to take out a piece of paper and I want you to write in clear, finite detail what success means to you. And before you even start writing on that page, I want you to ask God what success means for you, what God wants you to accomplish. I want you to pray to him and then sit in silence and wait for his response. If you ask, you shall receive. If you knock, the door shall be opened. I've done it, it works, and he will let you know exactly what you need to be doing. And all in all, in the list of actions that I've already mentioned, you are seeking alignment before action. You are seeking to know that what action you're taking is aligned with God's image, God's vision, and God's true purpose that he has put upon your life. At one point, I thought about being a pastor. I thought about preaching the word of God and truly becoming a leader of a church. After I found God, I was so mesmerized by my love of God and the love that He has for me, that I thought, I want to be a pastor. I want to teach people the scripture. I want to impact them through this avenue. And so I went to my pastor in my church and I asked him, I think God is really pushing me to become a pastor, to preach the word. And he asked me, how did you come up with that? How did you decide that God told you that? And in that moment, I realized that I made that up in my own head. I made up that own pursuit in my own head. I made up that own pursuit for my life in my own head. And so now I realize that I have built a vision and a plan of action entirely on my own self-serving desires, on my idea for my life. And he wasn't discouraging me, but also showing me that what I'm doing right now is a form of ministry, that there is several different types of ministry. There is several different ways that you can impact people. And that, me being the one coming up with the idea, tells me that I was thinking in my own head and trusting my own thoughts over God's true vision for my life. And that's where things get dangerous. That's where you not only lead other people astray, but you lead yourself astray. And God tells us in the Bible, He warns us many times that even when you're trying to do a good thing, and even when you think you're doing what's within His will, if you don't do the due diligence to truly ask Him, is this what I'm supposed to do? Is this the action that I'm supposed to be taking? You could end up just leading a bunch of people astray. And that's a huge responsibility on you, because you have the intelligence to accomplish your goal. You have the discipline to accomplish your goal. That's the whole reason why you're even watching videos like this in the first place, because you want to get better constantly, you want to refine your skills, and you want to make that impact that you can't stop thinking about. But you have to make God your business partner. You have to let God lead the way. You can never try to step in front of God and think you have better judgment than Him and a better idea of how to conduct your life better than Him. So now you understand. It's no longer about performance. It's no longer about ego. It's about true partnership with God that will give you what you're looking for. And ultimately, it shouldn't be about what you're looking for. It's about what God is looking for you to do. Many of you have spent years of your life trying to build the strength to carry your entire mission alone. But maybe the real strength is found in surrendering control while still maintaining your discipline, while still maintaining the true mission of what God intended for your life. So now that I am certain you have found value in this video, you have found awareness in this video, if you want to dig deeper, if you truly want to get closer to God, if you truly want to get better mentally, physically, spiritually, I break down stuff like this every single week, multiple times a week. You could go back to my old videos after you hit the like button and the sub button on this video. Have that be the first step of you truly seeking the information that's going to put you on the right path. If you want to learn about your overall identity, analyze your psychological mindset from a bird's eye third-person point of view, and reveal the blind spots that are holding you back from the true success that you're looking for, I want you to DM me right here on my Instagram. We'll do a one-on-one coaching call for a full hour with me personally, and we will go through every little thing and expose all of the weak points in your current mindset, in your current pursuit, in your current business. And I will help you to fill in those holes, build structure, build routine, to truly start accomplishing what God has set out for you. So don't waste any more time. You know you need help. You know you've been struggling up here. So shoot me a DM, we'll book a call, and we'll start attacking this right now.